People who got cheated on, how did you find out? My wife turned white when she received an SMS. I was in the kitchen and told her, oh, I can read it, and she ran in the kitchen to pry the phone off my hand. She kicked me out of my own house a while later. Her best friend felt some moral compulsion to tell me. When I found a hotel receipt in his car, I didn't say anything. Then when he came home and said he had to get ready for his other job, I read his text messages from the night before. He was cheating on me with his co-worker. It's almost unbelievable. I had a work meeting at a hotel that co-workers were staying at. I looked out the window and saw her pull up and walk in with some guy. End of the meeting, saw her walk out with him, and he kissed her and grabbed her ass. Was useless that day. He insisted on hooking up his Apple account to the iPad we shared, so when he started texting with his co-worker to meet up on his phone, I could see it there. I've been cheated on a few times. First one, long distance relationship. His roommate kept telling me he was cheating with his ex, but I knew his roommate had a massive crush on me. I figured he was just trying to break us up to have a chance. Nope. He sent me a video one day of my boyfriend's door, slowly cracking it open. He is furiously banging his ex. I dumped him. They got married less than a month later. I'm aware I was the side chick. Second time, I was engaged to this dude for half a decade. My sister falls on hard times, I let her stay in my spare bedroom. Her and my SO get along super well. Too well. I fell asleep on the couch one night, I wake up and the two are cuddling in our bed. My sister left her phone unlocked and plugged in the living room. It's full of texts between them about the nasty shit they did while I was working and at my college classes. I was also the only one of the three with a job. That was super. Last time, dating a dude for like 6 months. Out of the blue, one day, he tells me he's moving across the country soon and he will return in a year. He expects me to wait for him. I start probing to figure out why. Turns out he met a girl online willing to buy him a ticket out, let him live with her, and bang a bunch. Yeah. We did not continue dating. I often wonder if my life would make a watchable Jerry Springer episode. Bonus edit, my sister actually stayed in a relationship with my ex for a few years. They still live together as what they call roommates. They also lived with my dad after I kicked them out of the house. This means my ex randomly shows up to family events. The guy called me and asked what my girlfriend's name was. He then said that's my girlfriend's name too and she has cheated on us for a year. Talked to the bro for an hour and a lot of stuff the girl did started to make sense. I made her dump him to prove he was number 2, then proceeded to dump her cheating ass. I was deployed. Before I left, I had told her that I probably wouldn't be able to get on Facebook or any of that, I could only use email. Fast forward to a month later, my buddy went back to the big base and got on Facebook and saw her profile picture of her and another guy. He came back and told me. I immediately emailed her with "So, what's up?" She must have known, and she replied back with, "Hey, sorry, I was going to tell you when you got back, but I'm really happy and hope we can still be friends." 7 years down the drain. The worst part was the breakup ended up being dragged out for a year. I got back from deployment, she broke up with the guy right when I got back and tried talking to me. I put up a good fight for a couple months by ignoring her, but then finally caved. It took another 6 to 7 months before I realized this was a toxic relationship, and my buddy literally threatened to beat me up if I didn't cut her off. So I did. I called her and said, "I never want to hear from you again, I'm done with this." She replied okay and I hung up. That was almost 5 years ago and I haven't looked back. Way happier now. My boyfriend cheated on me with his friend Matt's girlfriend Kelly. Kelly told Matt what happened and he forgave her. I, however, was completely in the dark for months, until Matt, thinking I also knew and had forgiven my boyfriend, cracked a joke about that time Brian fucked Kelly a few months ago. At a New Year's Eve party. I'm told my face went completely white. I had been suspicious, but didn't have any proof up until that moment. It was pretty awful to realize that I'd been right all along. To find out in front of all of my friends, as the punchline of a joke no less, just made it all the worse. That's hard to believe. I went around to her house unannounced to pick up my wallet and there was a used condom by the bed. It was a bloke from my boxing gym. Found her ad on Craigslist, turns out she was a hooker. Literally just. She stopped touching me. When she would, something would feel off down there. We've just signed a tenancy agreement to a flat and she has suddenly said she doesn't want to live there as it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right because her fuck buddy lives just by the flat. Currently mulling over drinking myself to sleep or crying myself to sleep. Or both. 6 years down the drain, eh? We were Skyping and he purposely had a red lipstick stain on his mouth. And I said, "Oh, what's that on your face?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I've been hooking up with my ex." At least he was always straightforward, lol. My wife of 23 years suddenly changed her phone password, but then left it unlocked and I saw some fairly descriptive chat logs. Thus ending my marriage. Looked at her phone. The dumbass rang me up to tell me I've left my phone at home, don't look at it. Normally, I would never touch her phone, but that was way too much of a red flag / temptation. Found a lovely text convo between her and a guy we worked with. She asked me to take a picture and the guy messaged her asking if she was still DTF later. Nice. She planned a solo fun trip to visit a girlfriend. Started acting weird. I questioned her about it but she denied that anything uncool was afoot. We shared a computer and I installed a keylogger to get the real truth. She was meeting another dude and had a long romantic weekend in Napa Valley planned while I was home babysitting her kid from a previous marriage. I decided to play cool to see if she was really going to go through with it. I called her on her mobile while she was waiting to board her flight from ADL to SFO. I told her I knew all about Bradley and suggested she not get on the plane, come home and let's talk. She went. I took care of her daughter. I had her private secret email account and login. He later mailed explicit photos of her tied up and beaten. She came home looking like she had been pushed out of a moving truck. I was pretty fucked up about it for a while. My work started letting us leave at noon on Fridays in the summer. I never told my now ex and would usually hang out in town until my normal time to come home. One Friday I had a dentist appointment so ended up being done way early, so I just decided to go home. Sure enough, the first thing I see in my entryway as I walk in is a purse that isn't mine and a woman's feet sticking off the end of my couch. My now ex is washing dishes in the kitchen, something he would never do normally. My ex sprints over to me, as I am standing there frozen and stunned, grabs me by my arm and drags me outside to the deck. He feeds me lie after lie about who she is and I just collapse into a chair and cry. Girlfriend of 4 years. I found out a month ago. I got a random guy request to be friends on Facebook and our only mutual friend was my girlfriend, at the time. He messaged me asking if she had told me yet and then proceeded to tell me what was going on. He told me he just found out she had a boyfriend and fully called out the bro code. I was pretty mad, dumped her, but had a lot of respect for that guy. Flew 2,500 miles from England to NJ without her knowing to surprise her and propose to her on Valentine's Day. Was amazing for both of us, we're having amazing time. All was going great till she went to shower and left her Facebook open on her laptop and messages popped up, from numerous different guys she had been talking to, sexting and inviting over to her house. When I asked her about it, it turned out she had also sent nudes to a tattoo artist for a free tattoo, which she then asked me to take her to, and she was planning on sending a man a video of herself pissing herself for $100. My sister caught my dad cheating on my mom through a MSN conversation she uncovered from a keylogger he had installed on our computers, which he installed to keep tabs on us. We dated for almost a year. He went to the bathroom an abnormally long amount of time and I had my suspicions, so I snooped through his phone. I found out that he was texting another woman and telling her how unhappy he was with me because I wouldn't do things in bed that he liked. She offered to be the one to do those things for him and that he should call or text her whenever he needed to talk to someone about me. I also found out that he canceled a movie date a few days before to go see her with his friends. They talked about how they were going to have sex, but his friends were there, so it would have been awkward. When he came back into the room and I confronted him, he started to cry, and to prove his loyalty, He messaged her and told her it was done and to leave him alone. She said that it wasn't and to call her when I went home because I was making him do it. Her brother had the common decency to tell me when he found out. She was cheating on me with my golf partner. Let's just say I ironed out the issue.